Everybody, it's Jessica, the Dollhouse Curator, and welcome back to the Curated Dollhouse. We are on day 2 of our Rainbow High redo for our Mayhem Challenge. So for every video that I do this month for the Mayhem Challenge, I'm going to give a little bit of a definition of what the Mayhem Challenge is. So the Mayhem Challenge is a challenge that I thought of to help us get back to those projects that we have left and let sit because additional focus was taken away from those projects and put on newer projects that we got a little bit more excited about. So the whole point of the Mayhem Challenge is to make a list of 10 projects that you know you have let sit in your dollhouse and come back to those and work on getting them done for the month of May. I must add, there is no content to be made for this. There is no need to post pictures. All you need to do to join the challenge is comment hashtag DC Mayhem 25 under any of the videos that we do this month and make the personal commitment to your doll collection that you will work on getting those 10 projects completed. So as part of my Mayhem challenge, I had on my Mayhem list my Rainbow High redo. I did this project last year, I believe. Nope, year before last. And it was really pretty. I love the way it turned out. And I had kept saying time after time after time that I was going to get back to it and I was going to redo it. And I never did. So as part of my Mayhem challenge, I am now redoing my Rainbow High Dollhouse. And I spent some time this morning working on it. So I didn't record what I did because it was 5 o'clock in the morning when I was working on this. Do y'all remember that song? I can't remember who did the song. I think it was Lady of Rage. 5 o'clock in the morning, where you gonna be? Outside on the corner. Yeah, I was inside of my dollhouse. I can't sing. Y'all forgive me. I hope your ears didn't bleed. And if they did, again, I'm sorry. Yeah, I sing like a fallen angel. But 5 o'clock this morning, I was working on this. And it was really nice because I had plenty of quiet time. And I just had time to focus and get some things done. So in our last video, I talked y'all through the ideas that I had for lighting this entire dollhouse. And how it was my hope that I would be able to start the lighting up here. Bring it around here into the patio. Take it through this middle section. And bring it down this bottom section and out of this window so that I could plug it up over there with one of my handy dandy USB extensions. Well, did we get that done? Let's see. Yes, we did. Let me move so y'all can see. I got it all done. I did say that I was thinking about moving these lights forward. However, I chose not to do that, and I'm glad I did because I had about 2 extensions left. Excuse me, 2 of the power strip extensions left, and it wasn't going to give me enough space, but I was able to get them through the top, around the patio. Love this. Into this part, down on that side, and all the way across and out this side with very minimal light cheat. So when I say light sheet, I mean where they got to a spot that I didn't want them to be. I have one light sheet right here, not that bad. And I have another one over here in the Hey Bestie room, which you can see a little bit more of now since I have my lights in. And I have worked this morning on the top room. As you can see, it's nowhere near finished. And the room right here with Miss Aisha in it. I kind of love this. I had to do some twofold that I will talk about here in a second. But the lights have worked out really, really well. And I have the color. So yes, we were able to add the rainbow to the Rainbow Dollhouse. This is wonderful. I absolutely love this. It is beyond what I thought it was going to be. So let me go back to regular light. There we go. So we have our lights in, and I worked on the bedroom. I'm gonna call it the red room. I worked on the red room this morning, and I worked on the original kitchen area. I used my peel and stick paper, so I have a couple of pieces around here I use my beige marble in the top room. I use this one because I actually had started with the blue because I wanted blue in that room, but I did not have enough blue to make that work. So I switched it out. I had more of the beige and I had of the blue, and I think it has turned out really good. However, that room is so crazy, like shaped. I'm going to have to figure out some additional little things, and that is what this video will be about today. Some additional ideas that I have to work in these areas. And you all will not believe it, but I have some very amazing ideas that I have been playing with over the last year and a half since I've had this dollhouse that we will be talking through today. And I will take you through creating one of those because I have used all of my other ones. If you remember in my greenhouse video, I said I was testing that concept because the frames that I was using was actually for another project. And this is the project that it was for. But I will be talking through that as part of this video, and I think you all will be super excited about what we have to work with and what we have thought about as part of this project, trying to get this light to work with me better. Okay, so we talked about this room, we talked about this room, and in this room here, I had to do a little bit of finagling. So the original paper that was in this room was a beige cardstock scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, probably I think it was Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is like 3 years ago. So you all know when I get stuff, I try to keep it. I rarely cut it. Or if I do cut it, I still put it up temporary. That way I can still use my pieces. So I had a little bit extra of this, and I did not have enough of this to make it work how I want it to. So right in this corner, and I will give y'all a better view at the end. I'll do a whole little pan through in the video so you can see it. But in this corner and on this wall, as you see behind Aisha here, it is still this. So I intermixed those together. It looks pretty decent in the space. However, this corner over here where it's a little less pretty, I am going to look at adding a really nice tree, probably something, not that I make, but maybe I'll get me some plants or something from the DollarTree, use one of my planters that I already have, and put a nice little tree there to help cover that up. Up in the patio area where I have those lights that are running down, straight down the wall, it's pretty, but I would like to put something else there. So I am thinking again of doing some kind of plants or vinage in that area. Still have the light, but just to give it a little extra interest and to take the harshness off of the lights in that area. And I'm thinking of adding a little something to the patio that I will go over here in a minute. So that is what I have done so far. So we have this room almost done. I would call this probably 70%. It looks more than 70%, but the areas that I still have to figure out are going to be a struggle to be able to get it to look good and still fit the design of the space. This room, I would say, is 99% done. The only 1% would be once I get the furniture back in and try to disguise that little area that I'm not loving. The bestie room is pretty much done. I already know exactly what that's going to look like. I have one other thing to add in because where I have this little light cheat, I have added a little rhinestone piece that I got from the Dollar Tree that says Bestie. As soon as I seen it, I had to get it for my Hey Bestie room. But I do want to add a little something extra to that and see if I can utilize that light sheet a little better. And then I still have to figure out what I want to do on the bottom floor. So for the rest of this video, we are going to ignore this bottom floor and we're going to work mainly on this area right here because, again, these are pretty much done. So next thing I want to cover is the idea for the patio. And the reason I want to cover that before I get here is because this is the meat and bread of what I have for y'all today. It is the meat and bread of what I have for the crafts and the ideas. And I think you're going to love it. So I'm going to cover, you also know I love to save things the best things for last, and I think this is going to be the best. So, because I have my lights here, it looks really nice around the patio, so I am not really looking to disguise the lights running around the patio. However, that area is clear, and when I was playing around this morning, I noticed that if I were to put a little something behind that, can you see how that just kind of brings that light in? Now, my wall color is kind of a neutrally gray, so it still looks good, but I like having something behind it to kind of close in that patio. I think it looks really nice. Once I do the pan through, I'll put a little tape up here real quick and have something there so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. I also have more of that boulder paper. I got this 2 years ago off of Temu. I love it. I rarely cut it. I do have some that have been cut. But I think that looks really nice back here as well. So I kind of want to put something there to bring some interest in. I love this one because it has that blue and marble. But for a patio, I think the boulder paper would be really nice to add there and give it more of a patio look. So that's what I'm thinking for the patio, just to give it a little extra. But then again, I said, drop something every video. Every video. I even dropped it in the last video, but I didn't mention it because I was still continuing on. But every single video, I'm going to drop something or knock something over. So, what I have for you today for the meat and bread of this video are some ideas that I have been playing with on how we can create walls and windows for the Rainbow High Dollhouse. So I have a few pieces here. All of these come from the Dollar Tree, so I'm going to show you what I have first, and then I'm going to show you my idea for it. Let me get some of this out of the way, or it's just going to be a hassle. Okay, so what I want to do in these areas and what I have been thinking about, and I have tested this out a couple of times as I've taken pictures and set this up, is I wanted to be able to kind of close it off and create walls and windows without having to do foam board or without just having it wide open, so that it really looks like an elegant designed space in the dollhouse. So one of the things I have figured out, because I am the Dollhouse curator and I promise I try all kind of weird things, and a lot of times it works out. But I found that these 11 by 14 inch canvas that you can get from the Dollar Tree are great for this Rainbow High space and being able to create walls and windows. And really nice, elegant design on your dollhouse that will just add a little bit to the aesthetic. So what I have here is an 11 by 14 just flat canvas. So these, if you remember, if you've been with the Curated Dollhouse for a while, these are the ones that I used to make walls and my flooring in the Curated Dollhouse before we got everything shored up and hubby was able to give me a top floor and a bottom floor, and before we did this final makeover where I have the 60 by 25 on the bottom and I downsized. I also have some 11 by 14 inch canvas. So I use these canvas a lot. I use these again for walls and things like that before we got our 16 by 20 set up in there. And I have a couple of the 11 by 14 inch wood frames or wood panels that I used to do my greenhouse floor. So the actual wood ones that are full wood. So I love these. Now these I have done some design on. They're different on each side. So I put these together and covered them in some of the, on this side we have some of the cabinet paper or the little cabinet liner from Dollar Tree. And on this side I have the cabinet liner from Dollar Tree, and I have some of that gold netting paper that I got from Temu a couple of years ago, and I made these for my Cleo Barbie style no pink dollhouse that I did like April before last. I also have another one of those panels. Again, like I said, they are the wood panels that I put some vines on and did the same exact way. So it has a little bit of that cabinet paper, the gold netting, and I added vines to this one as well, just to give it kind of a nice greenery look. So I love these, and even though a lot of what I do in the curated dollhouse right now doesn't require these, I didn't want to get rid of them because I thought they were really pretty and I had done something really nice with them. But even before that, I also had been using these for this dollhouse. So it will not work all of the time. It depends, because you know a lot of stuff we get from Dollar Tree can be a little wonky. But I have found that you can use any of these for walls in your Rainbow High dollhouse. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So I have my 11 by 14 inch panel here. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to lift up just a little bit on my house frame and kind of, oh, there we go, and kind of wedge it in. There we go. And that creates a wall, and it's going to stay there. I love this. So I do use these canvas, or these little flat canvas, but it actually works better with the bigger canvas. So I'm going to show you that. But this is really nice if you're looking to want to close something in, or if you want to use this to create you a nicer window. You can cut this out, frame it in, put you some plastic, and this will give you a gorgeous window for you to be able to use, and you can put it in there and you can take it out when you want to, and it's super easy to do. For walls, especially this one, if you want a little bit of greenery to just kind of add to your space, you can use these as well. These are a little bit easier to get in, but look how beautiful that looks, especially when I try it on the bottom. But like I said, we're going to be ignoring the bottom of the dollhouse right now because it's not ready. But I love this. And then I can just slide them around. So if I want to put it in the middle and have an opening here and an opening here, that is gorgeous. I love it. So this is a great way to do walls in your Rainbow High dollhouse, these 11 by 14 inch panels, and they fit there so nice. So this is not going to fall out. So if somebody bumps the table, this is not going to fall out. It's going to stick there, and I love this idea. So that's a good way to do walls. And again, with those vines on it, you put it on the bottom floor, put you a little greenery or a little grass. That will be absolutely beautiful. And then you can take it out when you want to get into your dollhouse or put it up and have a little extra aesthetic. These 11 by 14 inch canvas work the same exact way as the wood walls do. And I like these because with these, it is really easy. You can do a little paint, you can do a little peel and stick paper, you can do some of those 12 by 12 tiles that they have, cut them down, get you a little rock, and you can do exterior looks with this. This is cute. Like, this is super cute. You can do exterior looks with the wood panels as well, but I think these are just a little bit cheaper than those wood panels at the Dollar Tree. So you can use these a little better, and if you want to paint these, to give the exterior of your dollhouse to look of an actual painted house, you can easily do that, and it would be gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But for this one, I am going to sacrifice this one. And I am going to sacrifice it because I used my wooden frames in the greenhouse. So I mentioned again earlier in this video that I said that that idea was temporary because I was actually using those frames for another project. So I didn't have any more that I could pull that were already without the canvas on it. So what I'm doing is I am literally taking this canvas off of this frame, and I am going to show you an idea on how you can get an even cooler aesthetic look for your dollhouse using these canvas. Again, as the dollhouse curator, I think of some of the craziest stuff. It comes to me. I don't worry about if it's going to work all of the time because a lot of what I do is temporary. So as long as I'm not trying to hot glue it or super glue it, then I was like, well, we can try it, because if it doesn't work, we can just take it down and move on to the next idea. It does take a minute to get these canvas off. They have a lot of staples in it. It will come off super nice. You can take the staples off as well. For right now, I'm just going to get the canvas off, and I will worry about the staples later on. And as you see, that's just as easy as how it comes off. Okay, so now I'm left with this canvas. You can probably use it for something. This would be great to make some windows or some pictures out of. But for me, I'm just going to kind of toss that to the side. I'll figure out something else to do on it later. There was one, there it is. There was one little random staple that was sticking out, so I didn't want that to poke me. But now I have a frame. And what I want to do now is show you how you can create big picture windows using these frames in your dollhouse. Same exact thing as putting the wood panel in. And now you have a frame, but you have the aesthetic of it being a window, and I love this. All you need to do, and I probably will not put plastic behind these, because after a while, being in the house, the plastic gets dusty. You don't get the same crispness in it that you want. But this looks really nice, especially again on the bottom floor. It looks beautiful to where it gives you the illusion of a big picture window, but you still have access into the dollhouse. To make this look even better, where did I put that folder paper? Y'all give me a, okay. To make this look even better, I have also used some of my Boulder paper. And I have, let me put a little bit of tape on this. I don't have any. That's okay. I have something right here. And then I can put a little facade on the front. Still have a window, but now it looks like an exterior facade with a stone design on it. Tell me this is not fabulous. Sorry. Tell me this is not fabulous. You cannot tell me this is not fabulous, because this is such a good idea. And when I figured this out, not last year, but the year before, after I moved the curated dollhouse into this room and got a chance to really play with it and move it around, I loved this. I remember I even did a reel on Instagram, and I used that song, Let the Sun Shine In. No, I'm going to spare y'all from my singing again. But I used the song, Let the Sun Shine In, because I thought this was gorgeous as a way to create windows, or to give the illusion of windows on the facade of your dollhouse. And if you put stuff together, like seriously, can you see that? I know you can see that. That looks so good. Still have access into it, gives you the illusion of a facade and windows, and this is super easy to do. You can use any kind of covering down here. Again, those 12 by 12 inch little panels that you can get from the DollarTree that have like a rock look to it. Any of that will work to do this. And I can fit 2 of these 11 by 14 inch frames really easy right here. Over here, where I can't fit a full 11 by 14 inch frame, this is where I usually keep my doors. So that looks really nice. And down here, you can do exactly the same thing, except a lot of times down here, I either have my doors in, but I have them in the middle. So I will have one big panel over here, one big panel right here, and then I have my doors in the middle to give it that exterior facade. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I am going to be using some of these ideas for once we get this all finished. And I wanted to share this with you all because this is an easy craft in order to create walls and windows. And again, you can do a big old picture window because it still looks really good like that as well on the front of your dollhouse to give it some extra interest and to make it interesting for super cheap. Super cheap. Okay. You see how excited I am about that, because when I figured this out, again, it was a game changer for me. It should have really motivated me to want to get back to this dollhouse way earlier than now. But again, I am glad I have started the Mayhem challenge because now I'm getting back to it. And the excitement that I had initially is coming back. And this is what I mean about I have really enjoyed the Mayhem challenge so far, because even though at the time I may have gotten a little bored or another project was sounding a bit more interesting, when I come back to these projects, the creativity just flows again. It just flows again. And I thought this was great, that I really wanted to share this with you all for your Rainbow High Dollhouse makeovers and to show you how the lights look. So, is there anything else I want to go over with you today? No. I will say you can also, don't forget about your peel and stick on these wood panels as well. You can easily, now this part is the hard part. This is the one that has the indented frame. But you can easily put you some of the peel and stick on this and have marble. I have this concrete look that you can do still using these. And as long as you're not trying to hot glue everything, just using a little bit of double-sided tape or just some regular tape, you have infinite amount of possibilities on what you can do in the front of your Rainbow High Dollhouse to give it some extra interest and some interchangeability. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope you are liking how this is coming along. I have enjoyed being able to have a little quiet time this morning to think through some things and to get this set up. I'm excited about getting the furniture back in here and getting everything worked out the way I want it to, what dolls I'm going to be adding. We know we're going to be adding the besties. You know, we already know they're going to be in here. But I am excited about being able to add the dolls back in and get the space completely done. One other thing, over here on this edge where I still have my red, you saw I have some of this boulder paper that is cut. I am going to be using some of this to cover that in. Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to be able to make it, because the way they designed that was just not conducive. But everywhere else was really beneficial for an 11 by 16 inch paper. But on these sides, I'm going to have to cheat it a little bit. But I think it'll work out really good. And this, it's so neutral. It will work in that space really well. And if I don't want to have it in pictures, I can just zoom in a little closer and it'll still work out. Okay, but I am going to hush for now. So I thank you for visiting the Curated Dollhouse. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video where I showed you how our lights have turned out and some of the spaces that I have gotten done for the Rainbow High makeover so far. I am loving how it is going so far. I do still hope that I'm going to have this done by Sunday, but I'm not going to try to push myself too hard. I'm going to enjoy this and revisiting this house. And because I have a 10 project list, it is allowing me to have a few extra things that I can do. We all have a little bit of squirrel in us when it comes to projects. So yes, I'm working on the Rainbow High Dollhouse right now. I'm also setting up for our Spring Guys selection. And I'm also still doing some stuff in the Curated Dollhouse. So I still have that ability to squirrel. I'm just ensuring that that squirrel does not run away from the projects that we are trying to get done. If you're interested in joining the DC Mayhem 25 challenge, again, all you need to do is put a comment under any of our videos that we do this month and commit, make a list of 10 projects that you know you have neglected in your dollhouse and commit to using the month of May to get those projects done. You don't have to make any content. You don't have to post any videos. But if you are confident enough Post some videos, post some pictures, and share your mayhem with the rest of the community. So until next time, this is Jessica, the Dollhouse Curator. We will be back another day with another mayhem video. So until next time, bye y'all. I promise to walk through. You know, my camera is weird. It's not working with me right now. However, here is the red room and how we have the lights done in there. Here is the patio. I did put some of that concrete looking peel and stick here to give me a little bit of an exterior. Here is what I was saying about the idea of putting something behind those clear glass or clear plastic on the patio to give it a little something. And I have some wood grain laying down here, peel and stick as well, just to test out to see if I want to use that. There is that corner that I was saying I want to put a tree in because I'm not liking the way it looks right now. And then over there, we did another one. And because I had to kind of use two pieces here, I went ahead and used two pieces over here to at least give it the same look. On this side, we have that purple polka dot in our Hey Bestie room. And where I have that light bleed through, I have that Hey Bestie sign that I want to do a little something extra with. We have the frame with a different type, or not different type, but a smaller piece of the boulder paper right here playing a window. I like how that's looking right now. And then, of course, at the bottom, I have more of that boulder paper that is up. I hadn't taken it down from where it was up prior because I will be using that in the kitchen because this will be my kitchen area. And here we have not decided what this will be, but there are the lights going out of that window where we get it all plugged in. So I'm loving it so far. I'm glad I'm back to doing something on this project, and we will be back with another video on another day. Please forgive my camera.